Presumptive Vice President Sara Duterte is looking to take her oath earlier than the usual June 30. However, the Center for International Law says her plan may be in violation of the 1987 Constitution. Petitioners seeking the cancellation of Bongbong Marcos's candidacy are bringing the battle to the Supreme Court. And in COVID news, the Health Department confirms local transmission of the more infectious Omicron BA 2.12.1 subvariant. Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's a roundup of stories we're watching now. I'm Charles Lejano. Presumptive Vice President Sara Duterte targets June 19 as her inauguration day, earlier than the usual June 30. But is this possible under the Constitution? Marian Enriquez has the report.
Presumptive Vice President-elect Sara Duterte wants her inauguration done on June 19. Traditionally, the incoming president and vice president take their oath on June 30. Duterte says she wants to attend the inauguration of her running mate and incoming president Bongbong Marcos. In 1PH's One Balita Pilipinas, Duterte spokesperson Liloan Mayor Cristina Frasco said the outgoing mayor insisted on doing it in Davao.
To quote her, it is the Davaoenos patience that made me the public servant I am today, and therefore it is only right to honor them the opportunity to witness the oath-taking.
Further details on the time and venue of the inauguration in Davao will be released in the coming days. The camp added that all discussions regarding transition will also be entertained after the proclamation. But can Duterte actually hold an oath-taking ceremony before the standard June 30 date? Center Law Deputy Executive Director Gilbert Andres says this plan may be a violation of the 1987 Constitution. Under Article 7, Section 4, the President and Vice President shall begin their terms at noon of the 30th day of June and shall end on the same time and date 6 years later. Attorney Andres stressed that Duterte cannot take her oath while there is still a sitting Vice President.
So if it says June 30, it cannot be done June 29, it cannot be done June 19, it cannot be done on July 1. It should be June 30. Why? There's a reason for this. Because there can only be one president at a time for the Philippines, and there can only be one vice president at a time for the Philippines.
With this, Andres warns of a possible constitutional crisis.
If someone takes an oath of office for president or vice president in violation of the Constitution, then that person can be challenged through the remedy of quo warranto. In fact, this was the same remedy that was used, that was resorted to with respect to then Chief Justice Sereno.
But for COMELEC Commissioner George Garcia, an early inauguration isn't a problem. He says there's no direct provision prohibiting an elected candidate from taking oath earlier than their mandated assumption of office.
Two former presidents before took their oath at 11:45, not exactly at 12 o'clock. So meaning to say, pwede naman pala mas maaga. Basta ang usapan lang, mag-a-assume at exactly 12:01 because that is what is provided for by the Constitution. Hindi nakalagay doon that the oath should happen at exactly 12 o'clock of June 30.
Garcia said that as long as the candidates have been proclaimed, oath-taking is merely seen as a formality. For News 5, Marian Enriquez, we are One News.
A petition seeking to cancel the certificate of candidacy of presumptive President Bongbong Marcos has been filed before the Supreme Court. The petitioners are asking the High Court to issue a temporary restraining order to stop Congress from canvassing votes pending a decision. The petition to cancel Marcos Jr. COC was first filed in November of 2021, but was eventually dismissed by the COMELEC for lack of merit. Meanwhile, the camp of Bongbong Marcos confirms that the presumptive president and his family are in Australia. Reports surfaced that Marcos Jr. made a secret trip to Australia, where his son is set to attend university. Marcos Jr. spokesperson, Attorney Vic Rodriguez, confirmed this, saying that this was a private trip. And Rodriguez added that Marcos Jr. is expected to return to the Philippines later this week.
It's a private visit, it's a private trip at nais lang nilang i-enjoy yung mga nalalabing araw bilang mga pribadong mamamayan at bago formal at official na manungkulan si President-elect Bongbong bilang pinuno at pangulo ng ating bansa.
More stories after a quick break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Charles Lejano. The COMELEC has approved the proclamation of the 12 winning senators in this year's elections. These are Robin Padilla, Lauren Legarda, Rafi Tulfo, Win Gatchalian, Cheese Escudero, and Mark Villar. Also included in the Magic 12 are Alan Peter Cayetano, Mig Zubiri, Joel Villanueva, half-brothers JV Ejercito and Jinggoy Estrada, and opposition Senator Risa Ontiveros. The 12 incoming senators will be proclaimed tomorrow afternoon. The Agriculture Department is partnering with several institutions to conduct clinical trials on a vaccine against African swine fever. Laila Pangilinan has the story.
African swine fever vaccines may soon be available in the country. This after clinical trials were done by the Agriculture Department's Animal Industry Bureau, Universal Robina Corporation, and a university in Thailand. The trials, held last February 10 to May 6 at the Robina Farm in San Miguel, Bulacan, aims to evaluate the efficacy and safety of the vaccine. It also seeks to determine the ability of the vaccine to induce immune responses post-vaccination. If proven effective, this would mean a faster recovery period of less than 8 years for swines.
Malaking tama ang inabot ng piggery noong 2019 at nalimas ang karamihan ng mga baboy sa Pilipinas, especially Luzon. We want to work with the DA na mag-repopulate ng mabilisan ang ating industry upang maibalik ang populasyon ng baboy dito sa Pilipinas.
Among the 125 pigs subjected to the trials, 66% showed positive response towards the shot and developed antibodies. After a positive result in Phase 1 trials, the next phase is being targeted from May to June this year.
So ang gagawin namin doon sa Phase 2, lahat ng mga bakunado, ilalagay namin sa dati naming infected farm na nilimas ng ASF. And we are hopeful that by end of June, and hopefully you're still the secretary, sir, we'll announce kung ayos yung aming Phase 2.
Although ASF cases have been declining significantly in the country, the DA will still push for the vaccination of pigs to prevent another wave of food instability.
Pag ito bakuna ay it's gonna work, I will recommend to the President na lahat ng baboy sa Pilipinas ay mapagbakunahan at the expense of national government.
For News 5, Laila Pangilinan, we are One News.
The Bureau of Internal Revenue has suspended the closure order against Megaworld until further notice. In an advisory, the BIR says representatives of the property developer cooperated with all of their requirements. An advisory regarding the shutdown order was earlier sent out, but no further details were disclosed. Megaworld shares plunged in mid-afternoon trade, but managed to rebound at the close. Time now for a quick look at today's other top stories. The Health Department has confirmed the local transmission of Omicron subvariant BA2.12.1. In total, there are 17 cases of the subvariant in the country, 16 of which are local cases. House Speaker Lord Alan Velasco has endorsed House Majority Leader Martin Romualdez as Speaker of the 19th Congress. Several officials and political parties have already backed Romualdez, who is the first cousin of presumptive President Bongbong Marcos. And in sports, Rubilin Amit gives the Philippines its first gold medal in billiards after winning the women's 9-ball tournament in the Vietnam Sea Games. Amit defeated Jessica Tan of Singapore as the Philippines remains in third place in the medal tally. The country has 31 golds, 35 silvers, and 44 bronze medals to its belt. For more updates, visit News 5, the Philippine Star and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. And you can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com so you can stream One News live anytime, anywhere. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I'm Charles Lejano. We're One News.